Smitten love is wicked and it's anti masculine. Let's talk about it. The type of love that's promoted where you're smitten is wicked and it's anti your masculinity. It demeans you. There's this idea that love is supposed to look a certain way when you're in love. You're supposed to look a certain things, look a certain way. You're supposed to identify the markers. That man is in love because he's doing this and this and this, and usually those things are a man acting very smitten. And oftentimes it's supposed to be illogical. He just feels like singing, and he's just over the moon, and he's just overexcited. But is that what love is? We know that a man can be infatuated. And what Hollywood has done is they package that infatuation with this idea of love. And then, of course, women are throwing their sexuality all day long. So men are aroused and they're very in a very anticipating state. Because if you look at the way they do marriages in India, I'm not saying India's got it right, but historically most cultures did that. The family would find a woman for you as a guy and they'll say, we think she's a good catch for you, good match. Then you start talks and then they'll arrange for you to do meets and then you started something. And oftentimes these were arranged, not step by step arranged, but they're often arranged. But the man still took care of his family and children when they came along and took care of his household. And we saw that as love. And that is love. Because if you can't tell me that if I'm going there working 12 hours and then I give up most of my checks so that their house is taken care of and my woman's taken care of, you tell me I'm not in love because what? I did not swing on a paw, write a poem for you. Not to say that those things that men do, poetry and everything else, are, they had their value, but we've condensed the idea of love to be smitten, and there's nothing worse. And a classic example that's going on right now is Travis Hunter, smitten, lacking cognitive thinking, clarity, mental fogginess. You can't be told nothing because as men, one of our biggest strengths is our constant logic. And I know we've all been there where your logic is out the window and you do something that's contrary. But it's all very cute when you're smitten in high school. You don't know what to do, you can't think, you can't study, and everything. So it's very cute. But when you're grown, you got much to lose. Matter of fact, as you get older, you gotta assess people based on the value they bring to you. Literally. It can't just be, oh, she's beautiful, she's got a fat ass. I want that. I'm gonna make you the mother of my child. You know, we gotta assess, does she have this? How is she gonna advance me? It sounds calculative, but that's how women are taking it. Matter of fact, a lot of men are not even getting into genuine relationships. Women be in survival, looking around, saying, "Hey, I'm old. I played around too much. Nobody really want me. Or he would do since he likes me already." So you're already being nominated and selected based on what you got as far as value goes. So now, when you're in a smitten state yourself, you're like, "Oh, you losing," because you're not thinking clearly. Because you got to protect who you are. You got to protect your investment, and part of who you are is your investment. And your capacity and potentiality to earn is an investment. So if you don't have that individual that's using you, who doesn't genuinely like you, and you're in this smitten state, you're going to give up all your resources, and your resources including your time and your mental. So smitten love is wicked in the sense of the fact that it takes away the man's capacity to function in a reasonable fashion. Like it takes away his capacity to reason and just follow things along like a way man is supposed to apply his logic. So smitten love does not have the value on a man's life. What has value is a woman that comes that he can analyze and see and get counsel on what you think. And if the elders don't approve or people who are respectable don't approve, then you let that go. You don't just get caught up in emotionality. That's gonna kill you as a man. And even if the relationship don't go bad, the fact that you're not thinking clearly. So that's why I said smitten love is wicked. Because how many men have gone into very bad situations. Like guys could see, hey, that girl is bad, but because they're smitten, it's just lustful, yeah. But men have made permanent decisions, long term decision based on that smitten love. But when you apply logic, okay, and when you start to apply logic, you may have to step away from the type that you like. You may have to look away from the, certain curves that you like. You may have to look at, you have to literally put resumes on the table and says, okay, this resume looks good, but I'm only going for aesthetics. Or this one, she can cook, she can clean. You gotta really assess them like that. Women cannot handle being assessed this way. That's why they throw sexuality as a leading agent. But if you start to scrutinize them based on that, you may have to travel because you're no longer smitten. You're looking. Imagine you're running a kingdom, right? And you have to marry somebody, and that person is going to be the queen. They can either make or break you. They can break your kingdom. Now we're not all elite people. We're not all cashed up. We're not all royal family. But if your little life represents your kingdom, you don't want that demolished, brought down to dust. And many men have been brought down to dust, and we don't know their stories. We only hear about the famous stories. Many men have been brought down because they got smitten. I'm in love, bro. I gotta have her. I gotta have her. And the women that get into this situation with these guys, they know what he's worth. They go for the jugular because they just there for the benefit. They don't really like you. And imagine sleeping with somebody you don't really like. So when the chance comes, now you've got everything in place. Look at Tyrese, he cried. Smitten love, right? Smitten. He was smitten, but she was just moving strategically, methodically, willing to give up her body, even have a child. And there's a lot more men that have been down dirty. We just don't know about them. Smitten love is wicked and it's toxic to masculinity. Part of masculinity is being orderly. Be orderly, organized, methodical, clear mindedness, sober minded.